Power is not lost because of weakness. It slips away quietly through hatred. A ruler may inspire fear and still rest peacefully. He may wield cruelty and face no rebellion, but once hatred takes root, the end is already near. Hatred is an unseen weapon, sharpened in silence, held by those you fail to notice. It is deadlier than any open revolt, more insidious than any visible failure. Hatred grows where the light does not reach. It smiles behind your back, obeying silently while slowly poisoning the ground beneath your feet. No fortress can block it, no army can defeat it once it spreads. Even the smartest minds have learned to avoid it, not by seeking love, which is fragile and fleeting, but by ensuring they never become hated. The most enduring rulers understand a single eternal truth: never be hated. Not by the people, not by the powerful, and especially not by those closest to you. Master this art, and you become untouchable. You can walk among enemies unseen, crush rivals unnoticed, and turn cruelty into a necessary force. You want to endure forever, then learn this. Power does not survive on virtue. It survives in the absence of hatred. The world does not hate what it cannot grasp. It hates what it feels has been wronged by you. The first and deepest source of hatred is the sense of injustice. Therefore, the wise leader commits all necessary harshness under a veil. You may confiscate, punish, and betray, but never in ways that suggest malice, greed, or vanity. Always disguise cruelty as duty, and your people will swallow poison if you call it medicine. Never admit your true intentions. Honesty breeds contempt, especially when it reveals ambition. You can burn a traitor, but only after convincing the people that the traitor would have burned them all. Break an ally, but only after proving his betrayal first. Appear reluctant. Carry the weight of responsibility visibly, so your actions seem inevitable, not selfish. Hatred emerges when power reveals its naked ambitions. If you appear greedy, ruthless, or overly ambitious without a noble mask, you become a target for moral fury. This fury has no limits or logic. It spreads like wildfire, consuming the throne and the ruler alike. Dress every harsh decision in the garments of logic, sacrifice, or protection. Say it is for peace, for balance, for the greater good. The people don't want truth. They want stories that calm their fears. Give them villains to blame, storms to fear, and distant threats to unite against all while your shadows move freely. You must learn to create enemies where none exist. A world without threats breeds scrutiny, and scrutiny breeds hatred. But fear binds the people to you. If you are their shield, they will not question the blade hidden in your hand. Beware arrogance. Even the strongest ruler cannot appear invincible forever. Invincibility invites hatred masked as envy. People hate what they cannot challenge. Let them see your flaws. Let them believe you are humble, burdened, human. Do not flaunt your power or victories. That invites resentment. Remain quiet, measured, distant. Distance disarms hatred by removing the sense of betrayal. The closer the people feel, the faster they will turn. When the illusion cracks, remember, fear is not hatred. A ruler may be feared but not hated if his discipline never becomes humiliation. You can punish without mockery, execute without gloating. The dead must fade from memory. Never parade as martyrs. Never kill out of revenge. Only do so for order. Revenge is petty and invites judgment. When you strike, strike once, strike cleanly. Present it as a sorrowful necessity, never a passion. Inconsistency breeds suspicion. Suspicion breeds hatred. Make every decision seem inevitable, every change an evolution, not a contradiction. People crave order more than kindness, so act ruthlessly but with reluctance, cut decisively but with care, dominate thoroughly but pretend to serve. You need not be good, only justified in their eyes. This is how you escape hatred and maintain power beyond rebellion or revenge. When men hate, they attack the story, not you. Change that story. Write yourself as the reluctant savior, the necessary shield, the tragic guardian. Then rule freely. Hatred often masquerades as criticism, but is born of envy sharpened by exposure. To be hated is sometimes to be envied for the power others cannot touch. The ruler who shines too brightly blinds those beneath him. Do not confuse hatred for cruelty. They hate you because you are untouchable, because your power mocks their impotence, because your victories remind them of their defeats. The wise ruler learns never to appear too fortunate or too beloved without cost. When you rise, ensure another falls. When you succeed, share credit. Let others bask in the spotlight, even if undeserved. Make them feel included, needed. Let their egos shield your ambition. Master the art of appearing ordinary while acting extraordinarily. Keep your luxuries private. Let your palace appear modest from the outside. Let enemies underestimate you. Let allies feel essential. Do not occupy every space. Leave room for others to feel power. Envy grows where there is no air to breathe. Power itself does not create hatred. Its flaunting does. A ruler who reminds others of their low place too often will be unforgiven. A single boast can plant rebellion in 1,000 minds. So stay behind the curtain. Let others claim glory. You remain the silent architect, the shadow behind the stage. This is not weakness. It is strategy. The man in shadows controls the play without blame. Praise flows to others. Blame flows to others. Hatred attaches to the face it sees. Let that face be someone else's. Rule quietly, invisibly, through the illusion of delegation. Choose your inner circle carefully. Let them taste power, but never enough to believe they stand beside you. Give them status but not independence. Keep them divided so they do not unite in hatred. When one becomes too beloved, raise another. When one grows too strong, burden him. Let each think they are indispensable and compete for your favor. Their rivalries become your shield. Never let a subordinate grow beloved by the people. The masses must see one symbol of unity, and that symbol is you. If a minister becomes too admired, their fall must be swift and justified. Do not hesitate. Hatred transfers quickly from the praise to the prince who tolerates them. Act preemptively. Cloak your actions in justice. Say they betrayed you, plotted chaos, endangered the people. Truth does not matter. Appearance does. A ruler must understand human nature. People love briefly but envy forever. Envy cannot be destroyed, only directed. Let people envy those beneath you. Let hatred drain downward, not upward. Create scapegoats. Offer visible elites as targets. Let the masses rage, consume your subordinates, while your throne remains untouched. The ruler who avoids envy passes through fire unburned. He rules with invisible hands, unspoken words, and hidden intentions. He rewards others to shield himself. He lets others shine so their shadows cover him. When hatred rises, no one knows where to strike because he never showed his face. Familiarity breeds contempt, but worse, it invites hatred. The more accessible a ruler is, the more vulnerable. What begins as adoration turns to entitlement, and entitlement denied becomes resentment. The ruler who is too visible becomes too human, and humans are easier to hate than myths. The wise ruler builds distance, not arrogance, not silence, but strategic absence and cultivated mystery. The people must see rarely, hear selectively, and feel presence constantly. The paradox is essential. You are neither their equal nor their friend. Power lies not in proximity but perception. You are not a man, you are a symbol. Symbols do not beg or bleed. They do not explain themselves. Learn to vanish from daily judgment. The ruler who answers every question, mingles with every class, becomes ordinary, and the ordinary man is hated. When storms come, people seek someone to blame. If you are present, they will choose you. If you are distant, they hesitate. Mystery creates awe, and awe deflects rage. Speak rarely but with weight. A ruler's voice must sound like thunder after silence. Never comment on every issue. Never apologize publicly. To apologize is to admit fallibility, and fallibility invites challenge. When decisions are questioned, respond with purpose, not defense. Defensiveness smells like weakness and draws predators. Project calm indifference. Your silence is not weakness, it is judgment. Make others explain themselves while you remain above. Control your image with distance. Let portraits, decrees, and chosen words define you. Appear only in moments of gravity, during crises to command, in triumph to remind. Your presence must feel like an event, not routine. The rarer you appear, the stronger you become. Limit intimacy. You cannot be both respected and accessible. The closer you let someone stand, the easier for doubt to whisper and conspiracies to grow. Loyalty turns when it has too much access. Cultivate dependency, not familiarity. Let others hunger for your approval, wait for your presence. This applies to your closest circle. Do not indulge their desire to know the real you. There is no real ruler, only the image people believe. Feed that fiction. Maintain multiple faces. Speak in riddles. Reward unpredictably. Be kind today, cold tomorrow. Let no one discern your pattern. Hatred grows in predictability. Mystery is your armor. Even your private life must be myth. Let them guess your secrets. Their guessing is your advantage. The truth stays locked away. Once they believe they've figured you out, hatred grows. As long as they doubt, they remain off balance, respectful, fearful. Avoid dependence. Never let them see you ruled by love, loyalty, or grief. Such displays humanize you, and human rulers become mirrors too familiar, too vulnerable. Even in mourning, maintain posture. Even in joy, remain restrained. A ruler who shares too much emotion invites manipulation. If they see what moves you, they will learn to move against you. In the game of power, you must become the ghost in the fog, the silhouette in the distance, the echo in the empty hall. Present but unreachable, visible but untouchable, known but unknowable. Only then can you rule without hatred. Only then can you endure. Mercy, when shown to the wrong person, is slow suicide. You cannot afford to be loved by enemies or pitied by the masses. Weakness breeds defiance. Unfinished punishments allow hatred to fester. Strike once, strike decisively. Cruelty, when applied properly, prevents greater hatred than mercy ever can. Half measures invite revenge. Delayed justice breeds plotting. If you punish, do not delay, threaten, or wound. Destroy. The people remember one spectacular act more than 1,000 warnings. One public execution, perfectly done, outweighs 100 threats. One swift exile teaches more than 1,000 speeches. It's not how often you punish, but how decisively. Act like thunder, strike fast, vanish faster. But beware, cruelty must never appear emotional. The ruler who punishes in anger becomes hated instantly. Look only grave, cold, disappointed. Let justice appear clinical, inevitable, not personal. You are not taking revenge. You are preserving order. Repeat this often until it is believed. Remove the root. Do not leave survivors. A single enemy spared poisons thousands. A single traitor's family becomes a symbol of weakness. Erase every echo. This is not brutality. It is mercy to the state. If you must punish someone admired, prepare the people. Poison their image slowly. Reveal failures. Fabricate betrayal if necessary. Turn admiration into suspicion. Make the people hunger for their downfall. Then deliver it as a gift. They will cheer what they once revered because you taught them how. This is how you avoid hatred, destroy enemies and the sympathy for them. People don't think in facts but feelings. If they believe a man deserved his fate, they won't hate the ruler who delivered it. If they doubt, resentment grows. Never punish those you still need or those with influence in public. Use exile, promotion, or silence instead. Remove them from power with honor or ceremony. A man stripped of influence without punishment dies twice, first in power, then in memory. When you punish, do it for the people. Speak of stability, danger averted, justice restored. Make them feel safe. Safety is the antidote to hatred. When people feel secure, they forgive everything, even tyranny. Never show remorse. Regret is weakness. It invites pity, and pity distorts perception. You must be surgeon, not butcher. Precise, not emotional. Remorse is for the guilty. You are necessary, never guilty. Never repeat a punishment. Punish once, punish right. A man punished twice becomes a martyr. A man punished once and forgotten becomes a warning. Memory is short. Make your mark deep. Carve lessons in bone. Let survivors whisper your name with caution, not rage. Even allies must know betrayal has a price. Loyalty is a currency. They must understand the cost of breaking it. Be generous with rewards, but keep them inconsistent. This balance freezes hatred beneath fear, never letting it ignite. Punish but never halfway, never late, never with visible pleasure. The final shield against hatred is delegation, not of power but guilt. A wise ruler never takes blame for pain. He claims credit for peace, prosperity, victory, but when taxes rise or justice bites, he steps back, others bear the weight, rule through others, let ministers deliver bad news. Let generals enforce discipline, let advisors push unpopular reforms. Behind every pain, a visible hand, but never yours. That hand becomes the target. When pressure grows too high, cut it off cleanly. Publicly, without hesitation, you do not need loyalty from these men, only utility. They are lightning rods absorbing hatred. You cannot replace them when spent. Sacrifice is proof you listen and correct. Appear as the father of the people, even if you are the executioner behind the curtain. Let them believe it was necessity, not your will. Let them say you are kind, but surrounded by wolves. Hope is your leash. It binds them tighter than fear. Feed it carefully. Blame is a weapon. Use it well. When famine strikes, blame poor harvests or corrupt ministers. When rebellion stirs, blame foreign plots or disloyal advisers. Shape the narrative before it shapes you. The people do not need the truth. They need direction for their anger. Point them away from your throne. Even in failure, maintain composure. Do not overreact. Do not beg. Calmness is your answer to crisis. When a ruler panics, people assume guilt. When he stays unmoved, they look elsewhere. Perception governs judgment. Judgment breeds hatred. Never forget, people hate the face they hold responsible. Responsibility must be distributed like poison, slowly, subtly, always away from you. You are the source. You must remain untouched. Choose a few to be feared. Let them enforce your laws. They are your mask. Their cruelty shields your rule. Their fall wins your love. But do not keep them too long. Power breeds comfort. Comfort breeds ambition. If one becomes too hated or loved, remove him publicly. If one becomes too hated or loved, remove him publicly and decisively. Your rule depends not on a single champion, but on the balance between them. Power is a chessboard, not a throne room. You must think many moves ahead, anticipating jealousy, envy, and betrayal as natural forces, not exceptions. Manage them with cold precision, not emotion. The weight of leadership is the ability to endure loneliness. You will always stand apart, above, and alone. Those who climb close to your side seek not your counsel but your crown. Let them believe they stand equal while you hold the unseen scepter. Their dreams are your danger. Their trust is your vulnerability. Guard your heart as if it were a fortress. Let no one see your doubts, your fears, your ambitions naked. Vulnerability is the opening through which hatred enters. Mask your weaknesses with a smile, your fears with silence, your ambitions with humility. When people sense your weakness, they become bold. When they sense your strength, they hesitate, but only if that strength remains a mystery. Do not confuse kindness with weakness. True kindness is an act of power, a tool of control. It softens opposition, calms unrest, and binds loyalty. But it must be dispensed like a rare jewel, never common or expected. Overuse kindness, and it becomes entitlement. Then kindness is met not with gratitude but with demands, and demands breed hatred. The most dangerous enemy of power is impatience. A ruler who rushes invites mistakes, and mistakes grow like weeds in the garden of hatred. Move deliberately, speak cautiously, and act with conviction. Never give others the chance to question your timing or motives. Hesitation is poison, clarity is armor. In times of crisis, the world looks to the leader for stability, not answers. You do not need to solve every problem, but you must embody the solution. Your calm presence reassures more than any decree. When people see panic in their ruler, they see chaos for their own lives. When they see confidence, even in uncertainty, they find hope. Hope is the most fragile thread in the fabric of rule. It binds the masses to the throne, holds their loyalty, and prevents the descent into hatred. Feed hope with promises carefully measured. Do not overpromise. The broken promise will shatter that thread. Instead, offer visions of peace, prosperity, and protection, ideals that seem just within reach yet never fully grasped. Control the narrative around you like a master player. It controls his script. Every story about your reign should reinforce your indispensability, your wisdom, and your mercy. When scandal or failure threatens, turn the story into a lesson of sacrifice or a battle won in the shadows. People forgive losses when they believe they are necessary costs. Never allow a scandal to define you. The moment you do, hatred finds a foothold. Instead, let scandals be absorbed by scapegoats or fade into rumor. Silence can be your greatest ally. What is ignored soon becomes forgotten. The art of silence is also the art of listening. A ruler who listens carefully to his enemies and allies alike gathers knowledge, a weapon far sharper than any sword. Information is power's lifeblood. Without it, your reign is blind. Listen not only to what is said, but to what is left unsaid. The spaces between words often hide the greatest threats. Learn to read gestures, silences, and rumors. Use this knowledge to act before danger rises, to strike before rebellion forms. Trust is a rare commodity in the corridors of power. Grant it sparingly and only to those who prove their loyalty through actions, not words. Loyalty bought with favors or gold is as fleeting as the wind. True loyalty is forged in shared risk and sacrifice. Even among your closest advisors, suspicion must linger like a faint mist, enough to keep them alert, but not so much to breed paranoia. Too little suspicion invites betrayal, too much poisons collaboration. Maintain this delicate balance with constant vigilance. A ruler must also understand the power of symbols. People do not follow policies or speeches. They follow symbols they can believe in. Build a personal mythology that inspires awe without arrogance. Create rituals, ceremonies, and images that bind people to you emotionally, not just politically. Symbols become legends, and legends become shields. The more your image is wrapped in mystery and grandeur, the harder it is for hatred to penetrate. Hatred attacks flesh and bone, but legends live in minds and hearts. But beware false legends. If your image becomes too perfect, too untouchable, it risks disbelief. People hate what seems unreal because it feels like a lie. A perfect ruler is a myth that breeds skepticism. Your legend must balance greatness with humanity. Show your strength, but also hint at hidden burdens. Let people see you as a hero burdened by sacrifice, not a tyrant reveling in power. This subtle vulnerability protects you by inviting sympathy instead of rage. Do not underestimate the power of humor and humility in disarming hatred. A ruler who can laugh at himself without losing dignity shows confidence beyond fear. Such laughter softens hearts and diffuses envy. However, humility must be genuine and controlled. False humility, or humility used as a ploy, quickly becomes transparent and breeds contempt. True humility is a quiet strength, an acknowledgement of your limits paired with unwavering resolve. Balance power with patience, cruelty with mercy, strength with wisdom. This balance is the delicate dance that separates rulers who fall into hatred from those who reign in respect. When conflicts arise within your inner circle, do not intervene immediately. Let them struggle, compete, and even fight, so long as it serves your interest. Their rivalries distract them from you and remind them of their dependence. But step in decisively if these conflicts threaten unity or your authority. A divided house invites external enemies and internal betrayal. Act as judge and executioner when needed, but always with calm and reason. Punishment within your circle must be swift, public, and irreversible. Hesitation breeds whispers of weakness. Whispers breed conspiracies. Conspiracies breed hatred. Your closest allies must learn that loyalty is rewarded with power, but betrayal is punished with exile, disgrace, or death. The cost of betrayal must be so high that no one dares to risk it, yet be wary of those too eager to prove their loyalty with zeal. Such zeal often hides ambition. Watch closely and pull their strings carefully. Let ambition fuel their service, not their rebellion. Power requires control not only over others, but over yourself. A ruler who loses control of his temper, desires, or impulses reveals cracks in the armor. These cracks invite attack. Practice restraint in all things: speech, appetite, emotion. Your self-control models the order you demand from others. When you are master of yourself, you are master of your domain. Avoid public displays of passion, anger, or joy. The ruler is a mirror for his people's emotions, not a vessel for his own. Let your mood be steady and your face unreadable. When you must display emotion, choose sorrow or solemnity, never rage or vanity. Sorrow earns sympathy and respect. Vanity invites scorn and hatred. Control your pleasures in private. The ruler's private life should be a locked door behind which only a few trusted ones may glimpse. Excesses and scandals in private often leak into public and become weapons for enemies. Manage your reputation like a precious treasure. Reputation is the currency of power. Once lost, it is nearly impossible to regain. If your reputation suffers, rebuild it slowly with acts of mercy, justice, and generosity. Public acts of kindness can heal wounds created by harshness, but do not mistake generosity for weakness. Generosity, like kindness, must be strategic. Give when it strengthens your position, withhold when it serves your interests. Be wary of the fickle nature of public opinion. The masses are like the sea, calm one moment, stormy the next. Do not attempt to control every wave. Instead, anchor yourself deep enough to withstand them. When criticism arises, do not confront it directly unless necessary. Instead, let your silence or your consistent actions answer. Time often reveals truth more effectively than words. Know when to retreat. Even the strongest ruler must sometimes step back to regroup, rethink, and return stronger. Retreat is not weakness but strategy, a way to preserve power through endurance. Endurance is the final measure of power. Many fall not because they are weak, but because they do not last. The ruler who endures through cycles of fortune and misfortune commands respect even from enemies. To endure, build a foundation not only on fear, but on respect and a semblance of justice. Fear without respect is fragile. Respect without fear is often naive. Your justice must be predictable enough to be trusted but flexible enough to be feared. Let people know the rules and the consequences, but keep the methods secret. Secrecy protects you from envy and hatred. When your subjects cannot predict your actions, they hesitate to oppose you. Your unpredictability must be balanced with consistency. Change your methods, but never your goals. Stability and purpose inspires loyalty even when methods vary. A ruler who is too rigid invites rebellion. One who is too erratic invites chaos. Walk the tightrope with steady steps. The greatest art of power is to appear weak when strong and strong when weak. This illusion confuses enemies and reassures allies. Let your enemies underestimate you. Let your allies feel your strength. Power is a game of appearances. Reality matters less than perception. Guard your thoughts as carefully as your actions. Thoughts leak in subtle ways, in words, gestures, and expressions. A careless word or glance can betray intentions and sow distrust. Train yourself to conceal your thoughts and reveal only what serves your purpose. Silence often speaks louder than words. Understand the power of absence. Your physical absence can strengthen your presence. The less you are seen, the more you are imagined. Create anticipation for your appearances. When you speak or act, make it matter. Do not become a constant presence in your people's lives. Familiarity breeds contempt and hatred. Instead, become a legend whispered about in the streets and sung in songs. Legends are immortal. Harness the power of fear without becoming its slave. Fear is a tool, powerful but dangerous. Overuse fear breeds hatred. Underuse breeds disorder. Use fear sparingly, mixed with hope and respect. This blend creates a stable society bound to you by complex emotions. Never show fear yourself. A ruler who fears invites rebellion. Instead, cultivate an aura of calm control and inevitability. Let your enemies feel the weight of your will even in silence. Be aware that power attracts enemies, both open and hidden. Some enemies will be obvious, others will hide in shadows. Learn to identify enemies not by their words, but by their actions. Watch for those who seek to undermine you subtly, through alliances, rumors, or disobedience. Strike quickly and decisively against enemies. Delay gives them time to gather strength and allies, but do not strike without evidence or justification. Unjust punishment breeds hatred and rebellion. Maintain a balance between justice and pragmatism. Sometimes it is wiser to tolerate a minor enemy than to provoke a greater conflict. Choose your battles carefully. Victory in every fight is less important than winning the war. Remember that power is fluid, not static. It must be renewed constantly through actions, symbols, and alliances. Do not cling to power out of fear of losing it. Instead, adapt to changing circumstances to maintain it. Power is not about domination alone, but about influence and control over perceptions. Finally, accept that absolute power is a myth. Every ruler faces limits of loyalty, resources, and time. The wise ruler understands these limits and works within them, finding strength in flexibility, patience, and strategy. Hatred is the silent assassin of power, but it can be outwitted. By mastering fear, mystery, justice, and patience, you build a fortress around your rule. This fortress is not made of walls or armies, but of perception, narrative, and unyielding will. Rule with this knowledge, and your power will endure beyond rebellion, beyond hatred, beyond time.